Well, I think Blu-ray is great. It's a great way to see the films. If you can't get to the theater and see them, and you have to see them at home, it's probably the best possible technology at the moment.
I think it's wonderful that the audiences have wanted to see these films over and over again. And obviously, with the Blu-ray, the films have been preserved and protected, and they're shown in the best quality possible, which is, fantastic for the fans who like to see the Bond films again and again. I think when you look at Dr. No, the defining moments of that film are obviously when Sean first says the name, when Sylvia Trench asks him, what his name is, and he says Bond, James Bond, where various things all come into play at that moment with the camera maneuvers and the James Bond theme, the lighting of the cigarette, the flick of his eyes up to Sylvia, and the announcing his name. I think that was a defining moment. And obviously, when Ursula Andress stepped out of the sea. And then I suppose you've had your six. So, I mean, there, you would say, just in the first film, there were certain iconic moments that one hopes to repeat with each film. Give them each film you make, you want to create a few moments that will stand out and be remembered. But that's something they started with Dr. No, and they set the bar very high. So I think with each film you try to recreate something special. I think he taught me passion, Got to have passion for what you do. Got to be relentless in your pursuit for perfection. Taught me to listen to people before making decisions. I suppose being decisive was also another great quality of his. He would listen to, if there was a problem, he would listen to everybody and then he'd make a decision. And you have no idea how important that is until you're in a situation where there's a lot of indecision, and you realize how indecision is very crippling, particularly when you're, at the helm of a several $100 million film with lots and lots of people all standing around waiting to figure out what to do. So decisiveness was important. And also put the money on the screen. Put it all up there, that, to make sure that, you give the audiences what they want. It's the first rule of show business, know your audience. And he knew the audience for a Bond film. He knew what they were expecting, and he knew how to deliver it, and we just keep trying to do what he did.
Cubby had a lot of integrity, and he was I think, there's so many things that you learn from working with someone for 30 years that you really can't express. They're things that just become part of your nature. And I guess that's the thing that affects you the most. It rubs off. When people say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, that's probably a formula for complacency in our business, which can lead to the end of the series. So I think we're always looking for ways to really break it and start over again, and we've done that several times now, to give it a new life and to rejuvenate it.
Well, the significant thing about GoldenEye was that we really didn't have Cubby with us, because he said to us, you know, he wanted us to take over at that point. And he made the big decision, which was the casting of Pierce. But then he kind of just wanted us to get on with it. So it was very significant for that reason. And so we relied very much on our team of technicians and supporting, you know, the supporting family to get us through a very difficult time. And, you know, Pierce did an extraordinary job, and casting Judi Dench was a revelation. And I think we felt that there was so much talk about, you know, was Bond still relevant with the Cold War ending and the wall coming down? You know, was there a need for Bond anymore? So we were really under pressure. And Martin really arrived with so much energy and so ready to take it on that he really created a head of steam, and we just went for it. And Bruce Fierstein, you know, coming up with the lines of, you know, M saying that Bond was a sexist, misogynist dinosaur left over from the Cold War, and just flying in the face of all the criticism and just taking it head on, I think was a very good decision.
You know, when Martin had done GoldenEye and was Pierce's first picture, so when we, and he'd felt he'd done his Bond film, and it was he was really not interested in coming back until we said, well, we're going to recast it, and we want to start a new series going. And then he rose to the challenge and came back for Casino Royale, and he did a magnificent job with Daniel's first film.